قالوا انا للہ و انا الیہ راجعون۔ آج کا دن شب شہادت مولا علی علیہ السلام کی مناسبت سے ہے، تو اسی حوالے سے ایک مرثیہ پڑھوں گا۔ بیٹیاں تھیں، جنازہ تھا، احساس تھا، دور بابا کی میت سے عباس تھا، وقت رخصت کفن جب ہٹایا گیا، آخری بار چہرہ دکھایا گیا، اپنے عباس کا جب خیال آ گیا، دیکھ کے آواز شبیر نے یہ کہا، عباس آؤ بابا کو رخصت کرو، عباس آؤ بابا کو رخصت کرو، آج بازو بھی ہے اور جنازہ بھی ہے، عباس آؤ بابا کو رخصت کرو۔ جب سے بابا نے چومے ہیں شان تیرے، کربلا یاد آتی ہے بائی مجھے، ایک زخمی بدن ہوگا جب بے کفن، کون آئے گا بائی اٹھانے اسے، آج سب ہیں چلو تم میرا ساتھ دو، دور بیٹھو نہ اب میرے غازی اٹھو، عباس آؤ بابا کو رخصت کرو، عباس آؤ بابا کو رخصت کرو۔ جانتا ہوں بہت صبر تم نے کیا، اپنے بابا کے قاتل کو پانی دیا، زخم گہرا ہے ابھی شکستہ ہے سر، اس نے تلوار سے وار ایسا کیا، ضرب کے زخم سے خون پھر نہ بہے، دیکھو میت رکھی ہے بہت دیر سے، عباس آؤ بابا کو رخصت کرو، عباس آؤ بابا کو رخصت کرو۔ بس یہ ارمان ہوتا ہے ہر باپ کا، میرے بیٹے اٹھائیں جنازہ میرا، کہہ کے یہ بات شبیر رونے لگے، اور پھر ہاتھ سینے پہ رکھ کر کہا، ایسا نہ ہو کبھی باپ اٹھائے کوئی اپنے کاندھے پہ میت جوان لال کی، عباس آؤ بابا کو رخصت کرو، عباس آؤ بابا کو رخصت کرو۔ یاد ہے تم کو بابا نے جاتے ہوئے ہاتھ رکھا تمہارا میرے ہاتھ پہ، تم کو شب کی نمازوں میں مانگا گیا، اے میرے بائی کرب و بلا کے لیے، کیا یہ صدمہ ہے کم ہے یتیم آج ہم، آئے آغاز کرب و بلا ہے یہ غم، عباس آؤ بابا کو رخصت کرو، آؤ بابا کو رخصت کرو، تھام کر اپنی ٹوٹی ہوئی پسلیاں، دیکھو بابا کے پہلو میں بیٹھی ہے ماں، ہائے غربت وہی ہاتھ پہلو پہ ہے تازیانوں کے جس پر ہے ابھی نشان، دیکھو اے با وفا ساتھ ہے مصطفیٰ، چل کے بابا کو اب بول دو الوداع، عباس آؤ بابا کو رخصت کرو، آج بازو بھی ہیں اور جنازہ بھی ہے، عباس آؤ بابا کو رخصت کرو، دیکھو بابا کی میت سے لپٹی ہے وہ، تم ہی زینب کے جینے کی امید ہو، بائی شبر نے رخ سے ہٹایا تھا جو، اپنے ہاتھوں سے تم وہ کفن باندھ دو، عکس خیبر شکن مرنا جائے بہن، تم کو دیکھے گی تو چھوڑ دے گی کفن، عباس آؤ بابا کو رخصت کرو، اور مقطع، بات بہنوں کی آئی تو غازی اٹھے، اپنے بابا کی میت کی جانب چلے، آ کے بابا کے قدموں کا بوسہ لیا، اے رضا حال ذیشان کیسے لکھے، جب جنازہ اٹھا گھر میں کوہرام تھا، رو کے عباس نے بائیوں سے کہا، عباس آؤ بابا کو رخصت کرو، عباس آؤ بابا کو رخصت کرو، آج بازو بھی ہیں اور جنازہ بھی ہے، عباس آؤ بابا کو رخصت کرو، صلوات۔
بہت ہی خوبصورت انداز سے رضا بھائی نے پڑھا ہے۔ العین چیریٹی وہ اپنا میسیج جو ہے وہ پلے کرنا چاہتے ہیں، تو ان کے ریپریزنٹیٹیو سے ریکویسٹ ہے کہ وہ تشریف لیں۔ Would you like to come on the stage? Thank you. Give him a round of salawat. Allah.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Muhammad Raza, and I'm here today representing Al-Ayn Social Care Foundation. Now, I know many of you know about Al-Ayn Social Care Foundation, but just as a reminder, it's a charity that cares for orphan children in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Ghana, and inshallah in the future many more countries. And it was set up under the instruction of Ayatollah Syed al-Sistani in 2006, when there was a lot of killing of the Shia of Ahlul Bayt. The initial purpose was to document the cases of the victims of terrorism as they were being killed. And from there on, when they were visiting, there was only a few people. They were visiting these families and they saw that when the father was killed, who was there to care for the family? And from then on, Al-Ayn was set up to help those families of orphan children and widows. I would like to start by sending my condolences to the Imam of our time and all the believers on the martyrdom of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. On this sorrowful night, we mourn the passing away and the shahada of Imam Ali alayhi salam, known as the father of Ahsantum, father of orphans. Now, on these Layali al-Qadr, there are many deeds we could do. But there is one deed that there is absolutely no doubt that there is immense rewards. And that is none other than caring for orphan children. It was an act that our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was an act that our Prophet did. It was an act that our Imams did. It was an act that is mentioned in the Quran. More than 20 verses mentioned orphan children. And as we commemorate the martyrdom of Amir al-Mu'mineen, I was reading in many traditions that tell us Imam Ali used to visit the homes of orphan children under the cover of the night to feed them and to cater to their needs. And really, this is what we should all be aiming for. Making orphan children a priority, just like our Imam alayhi salam. Now tonight, on the night of Qadr, we ask you to provide life-changing quality and dignified care that lifts orphans out of poverty for good. This year's blessed night of Qadr could be a source of endless blessings, extending well beyond our lifetime. Now there are many ways to help. And we have stalls on the men's side and the sister side. £500 can cover the cost of building 1 square meter of the Luminous Star Center. And this is a center that provides psychological rehabilitation to improve on the mental health of orphan children, not just to give them money and food, is to really nurture them and to also give them life skills, vocational training, so they have a skill that can help them sustain themselves. £240 can contribute towards the construction of a housing complex in Iraq. £150 can contribute towards the construction of the Shajara Tuba complex in Karbala, which is a multi-dimensional care facility. It has psychological rehabilitation, but also it has a hotel, and the proceeds from that hotel will go to funding and helping the orphan children. And £50 can help ensure our medical facilities have the essential clinical equipment. As I mentioned, please do visit our stall on the brothers and sisters side. Thank you so much for the opportunity, to the committee in Masjid-e-Ali. And to all of you, thank you so much for listening. And I pray that you and your loved ones have a blessed rest of Shahr Ramadan. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala.
That was a very beautiful message, my brother. Now I would like to request Hamza. We got an opportunity to listen his speech on the day of Ashura. So he's a very good speaker. So Hamza, would you like to come onto the stage for a few minutes? Give him a round of salawat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Allahumma la'an qatlatal Amir al-Mu'mineen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm not going to be giving a speech today, it's just a short announcement. As you are aware, Walaya Youth has been running for over 1 year now. We've done a lot of programs for the youth. And alhamdulillah, the turnout is great. And slowly, we are making a difference with your du'as and your help and with the participation of the youngsters. As you are aware, we have a raffle that's been ongoing for the whole of Ramadan. And inshallah, the raffle call-out will be on Eid day. So it's just a short announcement for you to please purchase your raffle tickets. It is fun and it is an engaging way to get the community together, but it's not just about the raffle or the prizes. Even though the prizes are good, we have a prize of a ziyarat package to Karbala, Najaf and Qadr, which is with Haraka tours worth 11 to 1200 pound. We've got a marble piece from the shrine of Imam Al-Hussein alayhi salam. We have 2 aqiq rings, male and female, a PlayStation 5 and also a 100 pound prize. Even though the prize it's an amazing incentive for your donations, but the main purpose of your donations is for Walaya Youth and for us to do programs for the youngsters. We're in a day and age at the moment where there's a lot of problems that our youngsters are facing inside colleges, schools, universities and outside. So inshallah we have this beautiful center, a beautiful community, and with your help and your donations, inshallah this Ramadan, this will help Walaya Youth to do future programs and set us up for the year to do programs for the youth and bring them into the masjid. Because like we're always told by Maulana Ahmed Abbas in our Jummah khutbah, this is actually our first home. So inshallah, please invest in your youth, invest in the youngsters, because these are our future leaders and these are the future for the Imam of our time. So without further ado, I'm going to be in the back, in the main entrance, selling the tickets. So if any of you, I'm going to be there until 10 o'clock. So inshallah, after the majlis, if you do want to purchase the tickets, please come there. You can pay cash or card. And also you can pay via a link that we've got on the Masjid-e-Ali chat, or if you're on the Walaya Youth Announcements chat. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for your donations. Please recite Surah Fatiha and 3 times Surah Ikhlas for all your marhoomeen and for all the ones that have passed away during these difficult times.
Asantum. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Bar Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawat. मौलाना साहब हमारे दरमियान मौजूद हैं. अब मैं ज़्यादा देर मुखल नहीं होना चाहता. अमीर अल-मोमिनीन अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम की मुनासबत से ये दिन है, और इस दिन में आप जो भी दुआएं अमीर अल-मोमिनीन के रेफरेंस से परवरदिगार आलम के यहाँ पेश करेंगे वो यकीनन कबूल होंगी. कुछ के असरात जो हैं आपकी ज़िंदगी में ही ज़ाहिर हो जाते हैं, कुछ वो अल्लाह ताला के ऊपर कर्ज़ होता है, वो रोज़े क़यामत आपका इस कर्ज़ ज़रूर आपका अदा कर देगा. हम इस बिलीव के साथ आए हुए हैं, और लैलतुल क़द्र है, और कुछ ऐसे इंसाइट हमें देंगे मौलाना साहब कि हमें इस लैलतुल क़द्र में वो लुत्फ़ इलाही, वो क़ुर्बत इलाही, वो खशियत इलाही जो है वो नसीब हो, ताकि हम जो है आइम्मा की उसवा के ऊपर चल के अपनी आखिरत को बेहतर करें, अपनी दुनिया को बेहतर करें. क्योंकि सिर्फ़ दुनिया जो है वो बेहतर मोमिन की दुआ नहीं हो सकती है कुरान के मुताबिक. आखिरत भी जो है, आखिरत सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है, और दुनिया भी. दुनिया में भी हमें ज़लील तो नहीं होना चाहिए. खुदा ताला हमारी दुनिया भी बेहतर करे और आखिरत भी बेहतर करे. तो आप एक ऐसी स्ट्रॉन्ग किस्म की सलावात पढ़ें ताकि मौलाना साहब का दिल भी खुश हो जाए और वो मेंबर के ऊपर तशरीफ़ लेके आएँ. बार मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद सलावात. मौलाना अब्बास मिर्ज़ा साहब.
رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Please also recite Surah Fatiha for the shifa of Brother Amir and also for all of the mu'mineen and mu'minat. Al-Fatiha. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله أوله بلا أول كان قبله وآخره بلا آخر يكون بعده الذي قصرت عن رؤيته أبصار الناظرين وعجزت عن نعته أوهام الواصفين ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيبنا وطبيب نفوسنا أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على وعليه الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين ولعنة الدائم على أعدائهم وغاصبي حقوقهم ومنكر فضائلهم ومناقبهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين أما بعد قال الله الحكيم في محكم الكتاب المجيد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من ألف شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر صدق الله العلي العظيم والسلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته عظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم اللهم لعن قتلة أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام. We extend our condolences to the Imam of our time, to the lovers of Ahl Bayt, to the lovers of Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam, and also to all of you, my dear brothers and sisters. Tonight is also the second night of the night of Qadr, and also it is the eve of the martyrdom of Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. In the beginning part of our discussion, we will look at the importance of the night of Qadr, and in the end we will once again revisit the wasiyat of Amirul Mu'mineen which we started last night, and we will try to at least read the whole wasiyat and maybe perhaps point out to some of the aspects of it. Let's all together, it's a night of salawat, let's all together recite a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. The night of Qadr is actually a night of establishment of wilayat. Just as the Surah Qadr is known as Surah Wilayat, the same way the night of Qadr establishes the wilayat of Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam. It points out to the importance of the Quran because it's tanazzalul malaikatu war-ruh, inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr tanazzalul malaikatu war-ruh. And also it points out to the value and the importance of Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam. Because if there is nuzul Quran, there is su'ud Quran. If there is a descent of the Quran, there is an ascent of the Quran. If the Quran have descended, the Quran needs to ascend back. The way the Quran ascends back is with the actions of Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam. So the Ahl Bayt have that capacity to download, have that capacity to bring that Quran. And they are the first ones to receive that nur, that light, that Quran. And as it receives and connects to the Ahl Bayt alayhi salam, it shines back in their actions. For example, if you look at the first thing which God created is the Muhammadan light, Haqiqat Muhammadiyah, which is the light of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. As that is the first creation, that means that's the first descent, which is the Haqiqat Muhammadi from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And on which descends the nuzul of Quran. So first is the vessel, which have to descend, and then the Quran must descend after that. So the Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad, that light must be there in order to contain that Quran, that word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in reality, tonight is the night of understanding the maqam of wilayat of Ahl Bayt alayhi salam, who they are and what they are. It is actually a communion. It is actually a connection of that ilm of Allah, which is seen on the malakuti plane as the Quran, on the mulki plane, on this world, in this world we call the Quran, kitab. And on all that malakuti plane, which was Jibreel, which contains all of the Quran. The Quran is given to Jibreel, who is the malak, who is the archangel. So if the Quran have to descend from the Lawh Mahfuz, from Lawh Mahfuz to Jibreel, so Jibreel takes all of the Quran. And from that Lawh Mahfuz to Jibreel on that malakuti plane, on that malakuti realm, on that malakuti level. And then from there to this mulk. When it comes to the mulk, it comes to the heart of Rasulullah. So it actually begins with the Muhammadan light, with Rasulullah, it ends up with Rasulullah. So the Quran is all on these different levels. The Quran in this mulk, which we call the Quran, the word of Allah. Then in the malakut you have the Jibreel. Then you have the kitab, which is in Lawh Mahfuz, which is on that tablet. And beyond that is the ilm of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's in the ilm of Allah. The whole, everything is in it. Now, as it is in the ilm of Allah, it will contain our destiny. That's why it's the night of destiny. You know, whatsoever is in the ilm of Allah, it descends. And our future destiny, whatsoever is going to happen, it happens tonight. And that is why, you know, we are awake all night so that we have that capability and capacity to receive that destiny from Allah. And to even request that if there be any issues in my destiny, O Allah, by my seeking forgiveness, by my interceding the Imam of our time, upon whom the Quran descends, that this destiny be changed, that make the best for me in this dunya. So basically it's a very, very special and important night, very fascinating night. It's a very mystical night. Whatsoever that one wants to speak about and honor this night, you know, one will fall short. One will not be able to fulfill the understanding of this night. Because it is وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. When Allah, He Himself is saying, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. You know, who will really know what this night is? No wonder, that's why this night is compared to Siddiqa Kubra Fatima Zahra Salamullah alayha. And that is why she is also وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا Fatima. Nobody really can comprehend and understand who Fatima is. Right? The reality of her is astonishing, is surprising. Nobody really knows her reality, the same way as nobody knows the reality of the night of Qadr. As it descends on that night, as this night becomes the vehicle, the medium, and the source of descending of our destinies, of descending of the Quran, of descending of the ilm of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the night, Fatima becomes that mother of all imams and imamat. And Fatima becomes the mother of the father as Abiha as well. So she becomes the father, she becomes the mother of the father, which is Nur-e-Risalat in the Manawi way. And she becomes the mother of all imams in the Manawi way. Because that's why the 11th Imam said that, you know, Nahnu hujjaj Allahi ala khalqi. We are hujjat for the creation. And Jaddatana, our Jadda Fatima is hujjat for us. Hujjat for the imamat. Even the imamat of Amirul Mu'mineen, she is hujjat. The same way as she is mother of Risalat of Rasulullah. She is hujjat for that imamat, for that wilayat as well. Why? It is because of Fatima the Quran is there. It is because of Fatima the Risalat is there. It is because of Fatima the wilayat is there. If she wasn't there, and the Hadith-e-Qissa will not be there. Because as she enters the cloak, as she enters the kisa, then the ayah comes. The completion of the ayah and the descent of the ayah is because of Fatima. And how Allah introduces everybody is also through Fatima. Is the father of Fatima, husband of Fatima, children of Fatima. So the same way as وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا Fatima. So tonight is a night which is very unique, very special. And this night has always been the night of Qadr right from the very creation. Because what we say is the night of Qadr is about taqdeer, is about future, it's about what's going to happen. So all of these things, it was where before it came to this period of time, or before it came to this night. It was in the ilm of Allah. It was in the nur of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. That's where it was, right? So that means this whole creation, the first thing that came out, as we said, the first thing that created, this night has been there from that period of time, not as in time, as in linear reality, but as in horizontal, hierarchical reality. So it means that the first nukta, the beginning of everything, is the night of Qadr. And the end of everything, like we said earlier, on the 19th night is the day of judgment. So if this is night, that will be the day of judgment. And what it brings, apart from destiny, it brings amr, tanazzalul malaika, the angels. It brings angels from the heaven to come to this earth and bring that blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for each and every one of us. When they descend and see that we are in a state of astaghfar, we are in the state of reciting salawat, we are in the state of reciting du'as and prayers, the angels pray for us. And what else it brings? It brings ar-ruh, tanazzalul malaikatu war-ruh. When they asked, what is this ruh? Is this Jibreel? They said, no, this ruh is something beyond Jibreel. An entity, a being which is humongous, a being which cannot be compared to anything. قُلِ الْأَمْرِ قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي. As the Quran says, when they asked the Prophet, what is ruh? He said, it is something from the amr of Allah. So you have Allah and you have the command, amr. And this ruh is from that in terms of the hierarchical level. Allah, amr, ruh. And it descends on the night of Qadr. How does it descend? How this whole creation becomes the medium or becomes this vessel to contain that, the malaika and ruh, is fascinating. Unless or until it is not because of the heart of the 12th Imam. The ruh will not be able to be contained here. It's the heart of that waliullah, azam, that allows that ruh to be present here. And as a matter of fact, the same way as the night of Qadr is the zarf, as the night of Qadr is the container, as the night of Qadr is the medium, is the vehicle for all of these things to come about, for the ruh to come about. Allah says in the Quran as well, and on the day of judgment, the malaikas will come saffan saffa. The angels will come on the day of judgment as well. And it also says the ruh will also come on that day. So imagine that the ruh comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or descends from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the night of Qadr, and then it descends on the day of judgment as well. So if a person have that heart, that capacity to sense that malaika, to sense those malaika, to feel that joy and pleasure and taste, to have that feeling, as they say, the feeling of ecstasy, the feeling of butterflies, as they say. If one have that in these nights, the feeling of dancing in joy, in the love of Allah. Then on the Day of Judgment, one will be able to recognize and synchronize with that ruh and malaika when they come saffan saffa. It starts here. We don't have to wait till the Day of Judgment. It starts here. Every night of Qadr, every year. It goes on and on. As we said, it is vertical and, cyclic. Shab Qadr, the ruh comes. Shab Qadr, the ruh comes till this night finishes. Then the day happens. On the day as well, the ruh comes. All of these nights, as in spiritual nights. Like not in the physical sense that there is sunrise and sunset. As we said, this is all nothing but night from the khilqat, from the creation, up until the Day of Judgment. All of the Anbiya, Awliya, Nuh and Isa, Musa, you name it, is all nothing happen at night. All of these things happen at night. That's why they say the ibadat of night is the best for help us during the day to accumulate the reward of the day. That's why the symbolism of Salatul Layl is that when a person worships at night, the best reward is for him during the day. Allah Tabai says that, if my ibadat of night is stronger, then I am able to control myself and I am stronger during the day. And my perception of the reality and truth that I see during the day is greater. And vice versa. If I control myself during the day from sins, then I will be able to wake up for Salatul Layl. One of the reasons that we are lazy or we don't wake up for Namaz-e-Shab is because we are too ghafil, we are too forgetful, negligence, because we are too much involved in the dunya. And we are seeing the dunya from the point of view of dunya. If we see the dunya from the point of view of wajhullah, how can we be sleeping at the time of sahar or at the time of namaz-e-shab? Because I'm seeing the dunya as dunya, but not seeing the dunya as something that is a manifestation or a reflection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if I deal with these things in that fashion, and in order for us to make it easier, Allah have given those laws. Giving salams, doing the mustahabbat, the transactions, saying Bismillah, right? For every act, even to the extent that how you go to the restroom. And what dua to recite there. When you pass water, what dua to recite. When you pass stool, what dua to recite. In which direction you should be sitting. I mean, it is actually to make it easier for us to have the presence of the divine during the day, during our activity. Halal and haram, it's all for that. So that remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be there. Ghibat, backbiting, mustahab, helping elders, speaking good about, giving a smile to others, being kind to others. That's how the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam were. They say that Imam Hassan Mujtaba, as we recently had his, wiladat, that his akhlaq will be so good, and that's what the Prophet said, that in Jannah, majority of the people, the reason why they will be in Jannah is because of two things. One is because of taqwa, and the other is because of husn khuluq. It's because of their good behavior. One is taqwa, and the other is because of their good behavior, how they behave with others. That's why Hassan is known Hassan, because of how beautiful he was in terms of dealing with people. He would always have a smile. And he will have a smile in such a way that people think that, he owes somebody something. When, for example, a person who is younger, a person who is weak, they tend to be always kind of being very soft and smiley and trying to engage because of the weakness perhaps what the person have. And people think that, why this person is always kind of trying to, is he timid or something, na'udhu billah, But that's how Imam Hassan was. even after having all of what he had. That's husn khulq. That's the best behavior. So what I'm trying to say is that the activity that is recommended and wajib that we are supposed to perform during the day, if we fulfill that, and if we are careful with that, if we are performing it with muraqabah, which watchfulness, then at night there will be clarity in our dreams. That's what Allama said, that how come we forget our dreams? Then Allama says that during the day, if I'm strong in my amal, in my action, what I'm doing with my niyat and my intention of every action that I'm performing, for it to be qurbatan ila Allah, then my dreams are stronger and there is clarity in my dreams. Then I naturally wake up for namaz-e-shab, for the night prayers. So this tonight as the night of Qadr, which is khairun min al-shahr, which the ruh descends. Every night of Qadr, the ruh descends. So this whole thing, the whole creation is nothing but night. Till that day of judgment happen. Yawm al-Qiyamah, that's why it's called the day of judgment. And even on that day, the ruh descends. And the angels descends. And our destiny descends, because it's the day of judgment. Our destiny of our future, where are we going to go? Are we going to be in the neighborhood of Imam Zainul Abidin, inshallah, or in the neighborhood of Imam Jafar as-Sadiq, or in the neighborhood of, where will we go? Jiwar Nabiyyika alayhimus salam. That's what we recite. So that will be descended on the day of judgment with the ruh and malaika and our future. But how that descent of our future depends on the destinies that are descending on the nights of Qadr. We should not let go these nights, just like that. We should make sure that we are all awake, especially the Prophet have emphasized 21st and 23rd. He would ask the children not to sleep, wake them up, even if they are going to sleep, especially on the 21st and the 23rd, and tonight being the 21st. 19th, they say 19th, 21st, 23rd, but the 21st and 23rd is of a greater emphasis, according to the narration of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it's a very, very powerful night that one cannot really comprehend. Then it's the night in which the descent of ma'arif, tajalliyat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes place. And through these descent of tajalliyat, of the names of Allah, of the beauty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that descends, requires us to be vigilant, to be awake, to grasp them, and to embody them, and to perform and transfer, first to contain these in us, and then to transform from us to others. The khair should reach others. That's a mu'min. That's why they say a mu'min is somebody who is khair, who is good, who is beneficial for others. That's how a mu'min is. Now how he will be beneficial, because he has to receive that khair from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And tonight is the night of that khairat. It's the night of that things which are good descends towards us. Just the recitation of Quran, just the recitation of tasbih, salawat and astaghfar is so powerful. Like as we said on the 19th night, first is the question of takhliyah, is the question of emptying ourselves. Once we empty ourselves, then our container becomes pure and clean by astaghfar, and then it takes. And no wonder perhaps, 19th night, we are reminded of cursing, of doing la'nat upon the dushmanan Ahl Bayt, which begins with Allahumma la'an qatalata Amirul Mu'minin alayhi salam. Because when they ask Bahjat, is la'nat more valuable, important, or is salawat more important? Because in Ziyarat Ashura, first is la'nat. Allahumma la'an awwala zalimin zalama haqqa Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa akhira tabi'an lahu ala dhalik. Allahumma la'an al-isabat allati jahadat al-Husayn wa shayat wa bayat wa tabi'at ala qatle. Allahumma la'anhum jami'a. First is la'nat. And then assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Then there is salawat. So Abu Hajjaj says that when the guest comes, you clean the house. So you clean your heart by la'nat, and then the salawat will come. Right? And this is what I said, the deen which is complete and perfect. We spoke about deen being complete and also perfect. Al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum is that deen of wilayat, deen of muhabbat of Ahl Bayt, deen of tawalla wa tabarra. It just cannot be that there be no la'nat in it. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself doing la'nat. Ala la'natullah ala qawma zalimeen. Allah does la'nat. Whatever Allah is doing, we have to do the same. Because insan kamil, the Khalifatullah, is the manifestation and representation of Allah. So those who have done zulm, Allah is doing la'nat. And Rasulullah have asked us, make your akhlaq like the akhlaq of Allah. So what is the akhlaq of Allah? The akhlaq of Allah is to send la'nat upon the zalimeen. So our akhlaq should be like the akhlaq of Allah. So we should be sending la'nat upon the dushmanane Ahl Bayt alayhim salam. On the dushman of, and the Quran clearly says, the enemy of the angels, the enemy of prophets, the enemy of Allah. May the curse of Allah be upon them. So perhaps, the hikmat or the wisdom that we see that 19th night is the night of Qadr, and la'nat becomes part and parcel of the zikr of the 19th night and of the 21st night, which is Allahumma la'an qatlata Amirul Mu'minin alayhi salam. So it is the question of emptying, is the question of cleaning ourselves, is the question of tabarra. La'nat as in reality, the existential truth about la'nat is that I am not of this akhlaq, of the akhlaq of Ibn Muljim. I don't have the akhlaq of Yazid. I don't have the akhlaq of the enemies of Ahl Bayt alayhim salam. I am not a munafiq. I don't cheat. I am not like these people. That's what the la'nat should, purpose of the la'nat is that. It's bara'at. That I am tired of these type of people. And I don't like them. And may Allah's mercy not be upon these type of people. That's what la'nat is. So first is emptying ourselves from evil acts that we have in us, seeking forgiveness for those acts. Perhaps I may have behaved sometimes in a way that, na'uzubillah, a shimr may have behaved in terms of the behavior, right? In a way, not on that highest level with a masoom, but with a mu'min brother. I may have not been, I've been judgmental, for example, or I spoke about somebody without knowing, for instance, right, which is wrong, right? So therefore, the question that is the beginning of the takhliya, is emptying that, and that khair comes, nuzul of that khairat, nuzul of those goodness that descends on us, and then from here it must transfer to the community and to the people. That's what it's supposed to be. And we should be like the true followers of Ahl Bayt alayhim salam and Amirul Mu'mineen. One of the things that, the Muawiyah used to do is to create ikhtilaf among the Mu'mineen by creating doubts. But the Mu'mineen should be united. What happened with Imam Hassan and Mushtaba? Created ikhtilaf and Imam Hassan couldn't do anything, right? Who did that? Who was the perpetrator for that? So we have to be strong. One of the messages that we should have for tonight is also to have that unity among our community. We are the children of Amirul Mu'mineen, and we all should be united. And that's what the father is saying tonight when he is leaving. He's saying, don't have any differences. Now I go to the will of Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam with a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So as we said, unity, that's what Hazrat Amir is saying. So I'm going to read the wasiyat of Amirul Mu'mineen, which he mentioned after the injury on the 19th night. First, I said that the first paragraph is particular to Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein. You can find this online. Please make sure that you read his wasiyat, especially tonight. If you put the wasiyat of Amirul Mu'mineen after the night of injury, it will come up. Duas.org, they also have it. So he says, my advice to you is to be God conscious of Allah and steadfast in your deen. Do not yearn for the dunya and do not be seduced by it. Do not resent anything you have missed in it. Do not resent, do not do ta'assuf. Afsos nahi kao. If you have missed something from the dunya, do not be upset about it that you have missed something from the dunya. Right? Then he says, be the enemy of the oppressor and the support for the oppressed ones. This first paragraph is peculiar for Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein and also for others. There's a message in here, and especially now in the month of Ramadan, the last Friday of the month is a reminder, to provide our support to the oppressed ones, right? So it's very important to participate that as an act of help, as a voice, towards justice, towards helping, those people who are suffering. It's a symbolic reality towards all oppressors, no matter where they are. By the participation, it's a day for everybody, right? To voice against the oppressor and the help and support for the oppressed ones. Amirul Mu'mineen in the wasiyat is mentioning this. Then I advise you and all my children, my relatives, now here is addressed peculiarly to us, and whosoever receives this message to be God conscious of Allah, to have taqwa, to remove your differences. Ikhtilafat, make sure that you remove these differences. And he says that, very importantly, he says that, remove your differences and to strengthen your ties. I heard my grandfather, Rasulullah, saying that reconciliation of your differences is more worthy than all prayers, than all fasting. It's that important. Better than fasting and prayers. Obviously, wajib is wajib, but in terms of the fasting and prayers as in general, in terms of mustahabbat particularly, it is better. That's why when you are fasting a mustahab fast, if I offer you food, just to make your brother happy, you break your fast and you get the reward as well. Because you are making your brother happy, by this you are bounding with each other. You are making those ties stronger, right? That's what we always joke, when we were studying, we used to say to my roommate, tomorrow I'm fasting, make sure that you offer me food. So he offers food and I eat and we become stronger as a bonding. But what I'm trying to say is that it just shows the act and the hadith which is there. It is based on a fact. It is based on something which is very important, and that is unity. That is getting rid of the differences that we have. It is very natural to have differences, but we have to overcome that, right? And that's what Hazrat Amir tonight, in his wasiyat particularly advises. Then he says, I'm going to just read very briefly after this. Fear Allah in the matters concerning orphans. Just now, Al-Ayn have spoken about. It's very important to somehow participate in that. We may not be able to do exactly what Hazrat Amir have done. The way how Hazrat Amir helped the orphans was very different to the way that we are helping today, unfortunately. The way Hazrat Amir helped orphan was that nobody realized that Hazrat Ali is not really their father. That's how he used to treat the orphans as. They think that really Hazrat Ali is their father. But these days things have changed. We make the orphan realize before anything that he is orphan by putting the big board that this is an orphanage. And all the orphans are here, But Hazrat Ali treated them in a very natural way. That's why it's important to rethink the methodology of charity and the methodology of the way we are doing things. Yes, we are doing a lot of good things, but maybe the way we are doing it could be better, right? Imagine if there be a whole system of foster parenting, for example. A different system of adopting, for example, right? A system where somehow even the orphans do not become orphans. All of this, they becoming orphans because of this war and whatnot, right? So there requires that rethinking of that methodology as such. Then on that night he reminds us of the orphans. Attend to their nutrition and do not forget their interest in the middle of yours. It's so important that we think of ourselves and our children, buying, eating, drinking, health and safety. But Hazrat Amir said, do not forget them. Remember them in the middle of what you're doing. Then fear Allah, once again reminds fear Allah in your relations with your neighbors. Your Prophet often recommended them to you, so much so that we thought that he would give them a share in inheritance. That's how valuable our neighbors are. We have to be very careful. We have to be, engaging them, speaking to them, having that relationship with them, right? Then fear Allah, remain attached to the Quran. And tonight is the night of Quran. Nobody should surpass you in being intent on it or more sincere in implementing it. Agha Bahajat, they asked him that, he says, who does not want to see Imam Zaman? So everybody wants to see Imam Zaman. So Agha Bahajat says, go open the Quran, look at the Quran. There's no difference between Imam Zaman and the Quran. When you look at the face of the Quran, it's like looking at the face of Imam Zaman. Right? So, as the Imam is saying, Amirul Mu'mineen, please do not forget the Quran. Recite. A moment should recite every day. Make it a habit of reciting every day. 5 verse, 10 verse. People do one whole sipara, every day. Some people do 3 sipara a day. But at least few verses every day. Our youth, our youngsters should make it a point that they recite the Quran. This whole month is facilitating that. The night of Qadr is facilitating that. The whole month of Ramadan does what? It reminds us of the Quran. The night of Qadr is doing what? Tanazzalul malaikatu wa ruh, inna anzalnahu fi laylatin, is reminding the Quran. Hazrat Ali is doing what? Is reminding about the Quran. So look how important Quran is. What Imam Hussein did when his head was severed and it was on the spear, was reciting the Quran. Even after Imam Hussein is shaheed and his head is on the spear, he's reciting the Quran. So it's so much emphasis, so much reminder of the Quran, right? So we, the followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, must have special place for the Quran, the same way as the place of Ahlul Bayt. Because there's no difference between Quran and Ahlul Bayt. The whole Quran is nothing but the actions of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Or the whole actions of Ahlul Bayt is nothing but the reality of the Quran. Because many times when Ahlul Bayt acted, the ayah came, Surah Adiyat, in praise of Imam Ali alayhi salam. The whole surah is in the praise of Imam Ali alayhi salam. When they did that ghazwa in the Fajr time, right? Wal Adiyat zabha. Allah is saying by the sparks of the hooves of the horses. He's saying that is so valuable. Allah qasam kha raha hai ki about those sparks. That means in the eyes of Allah, just the chingariyan jo ghodon ke hai, tapon ke, is so valuable in the eyes of Allah. They're saying, uski qasam main khata hu. Right? Whose sparks, whose horse? Is the horse of Zuljana, is the horse of Murtazish, is Amirul Mu'mineen. Right? Then those ayah came. After this ghazwa, giving of the ruku, ring in the ruku, innama waliyukumullah, it came after. So the Quran is nothing but, we see the actions of Ahl Bayt in it. Hubb al-ta'am ila miskin or Surah Dahar. Or the other way, we find that their actions are exactly embodiment of these verses of the Quran. So Hazrat Amir once again reminding us that Quran is very important. Tonight is the night of that nuzul of the Quran. Every year, the whole Quran used to be revealed upon the heart of the Prophet. Every year, in the night of Qadr. The whole Quran used to be revealed on the heart of the Prophet. After which, the wisdom, as they say, of the whole Quran is revealed upon the heart of the Imam of the time. That's why we say it's the night of Wilayat, remembrance of Wilayat. That's why we take the Quran and we put where? Where do we put that Quran? Bika Ya Allah, then bi Muhammadin, and all of the names of the Masumeen. You know, the reminder of the Quran and Masumeen alayhi salam. So we, the lovers of Ahl Bayt alayhi salam, must not let go the Quran. And as a matter of fact, one of the things that we find sort of, you know, limitation, deterioration, weakness that we have is because we have become a bit lazy in regards to the Quran, unfortunately. We have to be very strong in regards to the Quran. You know, if we love Imam Zaman and we ask that Imam Zamana return and we be with Imam Zaman, that means I should be with the Quran now. Right? Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. See, one of the adab, one of the reality of the Quran is nothing but the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why they say every verse of the Quran, one have to look who is the fa'il of this verse. When a person continuously recites and become, you know, familiar with the Quran and have the love with the Quran. You know, Bibi used to love the Quran so much, she says, "Oh Ali, after burying me, recite Quran on my grave." Right? That's what she said, is one of the wasiyat of her. So when a person recites a lot, the Quran continuously, when a person recites it, tries to understand it, then one will be able to see who is the file of every verse. And all of these verses turn into the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Different names. One verse is a name as Ghaffar. The other verse is a name as Qahhar. The other verse is the name of Rahim. The other verse is the name of Raza. You know, one will find that these names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran. That is the adab of the recitation of the Quran. Right? Because Quran is light, is nur. Fear Allah in relation to your prayers. It is the pillar of your deen. Salat, it's very important. That's why we recite 100 rakat on the night of Qadr. As in, if we have lapsed or missed anything. You know, prayers are very important. It's a pillar of our deen. It's very, Amirul Mu'mineen was in prayers, right? When he had that zarbat, is showing the importance of that. I'm being very brief, very quick, because I want to at least read the whole wasiyat, you know, have the blessing from it and transfer that to you as well. Fear Allah in relation to His house. Do not abandon it as long as you live. It should do that. If you do that, you would abandon your dignity. Umrah and Hajj. Do not abandon, Hazrat Amir is saying. One thing is which we need to know in the margin these days, and have become very easy to get the visa and to go there. You know, people sometimes are unaware of the ahkam of Umrah. You know, they go to Makkah and they call, "Oh Maulana Sahab, you know, I was very tired, you know, so I just came to the hotel in Makkah, and then what shall I do about the ihram?" So you cannot enter Makkah without wearing ihram. It is haram to enter Makkah without wearing ihram. No, Maulana, I was really tired. Well, this ahkam is that whoever enters Makkah, he must wear ihram from the miqat. Oh, Maulana Sahib, the miqat was, I was in the plane and the sign came miqat, so I just did the niyat there. No. It is Masjid-e-Shajara or it is Jofa. These are the two masajid where that's the miqat that you are supposed to do when you are entering Makkah for the first time. First time as in on that trip with the intention of Umrah. Right? Not first time in your life, but first time for that trip, how many number of times you have gone. Yes, there are ways to kind of, you do the niyat of wujub, nazr, at the train station, you want to do that. Okay, these are ways of trying to resolve and making it easy. However, if you go to Medina first, and then you go to, Shajara, it's easy. Right? At night, once again, you cannot be under the roof at night, you have to have. So the ahkam are very important. You have to do it the way we've been asked. Right? That's ubudiyat. Shaitan, Allah asked him to do sajda to Adam. And Shaitan said, no, not to Adam. But I will do a type of sajda that no creation of yours have done to you, O Allah. Allah says, I don't need sajdas. Who are you to do sajda the best way? It will make no difference to me. I am ghani from your sujood and sajdas. You just do the way I ask you to do. That's my command. The command is you do sajda to Adam. That's it. No, I will do sajda. So we have to do the way Allah asked us to do. That is important. That is ubudiyat. I always use this example as well. When you go to Hajj and you have the time to throw the stones, people get so excited, they take their ihram off, they throw it. They have umbrellas and shoes and whatever, they throw it. It will not be counted. You have to pick the stones from Muzdalifah and you have to throw that. No matter if you take bricks from here, from Jusan, and throw that over there, it doesn't make any difference. It will not be, considered as your rami. You have to pick those stones, particular, small, and you have to do that. We have to do the way we've been asked. So nowadays that Umrah have become a bit easier, people are being forgetful of this. And they are just doing amal as they like to do. That's not the way. We should really, if we are going, as Hazrat Amir is saying, do not forget, we have to fulfill the way it's supposed to be performed, inshallah. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And all of these, the wasiyat that is there, it has many different layers and meaning. Do not abandon the house of Allah. What does that mean? If you abandon the house of Allah, then your dignity will be abandoned. What is the true house of Allah? The true house of Allah is a broken heart of a mu'min. That is the true house of Allah. Allah lives in the heart which is broken. As Ghai Jawadi have a very beautiful statement. He says that Allah invites us 2 times. Shahr Ramadan, although we are always in the, we are in the sufra, in the food mat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the one who gives rizq. But peculiar, makhsus, khususan, in the month of Ramadan, we are the guest of Allah. And when we go to Hajj, we are the guest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says that I will be your guest. I am the guest of those people whose hearts are broken. That's where I will be. Right? So when Hazrat Amir is saying that, do not abandon the house of Allah, it means that do not abandon the broken hearts of mu'mineen. Take care of them. That's the house of Allah. There are mu'mineen whose hearts are broken. We should be thankful that we are in this place. The volunteers are there, people are serving. What's going on in Palestine, for example? What's going on in, Parachinar, for example, in Afghanistan, in many places? There's no clean water to drink. So therefore, so this wasiyat is not only just should be taken on a surface level, but it should be taken on a deeper level as well. Then Hazrat Amir says that fear Allah in regards to the jihad in the cause of Allah with your money, your soul, and your tongue. Like as we said, there are different levels of jihad as well. There's jihad-e-akbar, there's jihad-e-awsat, and there's jihad-e-asghar. Jihad-e-Asghar, I don't have much time, very briefly. You can think about this point later on. Jihad-e-Asghar is the jihad regular, which Prophet said when they fought and they came back. The Prophet said, welcome from Jihad-e-Asghar to Jihad-e-Akbar. And he says Jihad-e-Akbar is the jihad of the nafs, of your soul. However, that is actually the Jihad-e-Awsat, that's the middle jihad, with the nafs. Jihad-e-Akbar is actually a jihad of the qalb and your aql. Because your heart says something and your aql says something when you reach to the level of spirituality and manaviyat. From the point of view of the heart, it doesn't calculate that why did Imam Hussein took women and children when he knew he's going to be killed. But it's the heart of Hussein that takes them, that sacrifices. So there's always a difference of opinion in regards to heart and the aql. There's a difference in that. Allah talks about qalb salim on the day of judgment. Allah does not talk about aql salim. It is the heart that journeys. It is the heart where the tajalliyat and the manifestation and the reflections of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes place. It is the heart where Allah resides. It is not the aql. From the point of view of the aql, many things may make sense, rationally speaking, right? But from the point of the heart, it may not. But the truth lies with the heart because it has the seat of love. And it is this love that always wins. And Allah is the beloved. Hussein is the beloved. Ahl Bayt are the beloved. Right? It's a very detailed discussion about heart and the aql, which we don't have time. You know, just for example, when Rasulullah went to Mi'raj, the aql said, I cannot go any further. Jibreel. Because angels are symbolized as aql. Angels are symbolized as aql. Jibreel is an angel. Aql kul. And Jibreel said, I cannot go any further. But Rasulullah, he went, is the heart of Rasul. When the heart of Rasul went, what did it see? It saw Ali. He saw the hand of Ali. He saw the lahja of Ali, the speech of Ali. That's the heart. Why? Because وَأَنفُسَنَا وَأَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَبْنَانَا وَأَبْنَاكُمْ وَنِسَانَا وَنِسَاء. Ali is the heart of Rasul. So all of this wasiyat have many different layers, right? So in terms of the jihad, there are many different layers of jihad. Maintain communication and exchange of opinions among yourself. Disunity and enmity is wrong. Beware of it. Do not desist from promoting good deeds and cautioning against bad ones. Should you do that, the worst among you would be your leaders, and you will call upon Allah without response. This is about Amar bil Maruf and Nahi Munkar, and this is where it ends. And one wasiyat peculiarly of that time, and we will end the majlis. Just to explain, he is saying that always do Amar bil Maruf and Nahi Munkar. If you don't do that, then the leaders, Allah will put leaders who will be the worst if Amar bil Maruf and Nahi Munkar is not done. It is very much required to do so, right? And if it is not done, then you will have rulers and leaders that will be tyrants, that will do zulm, that will oppress. You will call Allah to remove them, but your call will not reach anywhere. Why it is happening? It's a whole system. It is happening because we don't do Amar bil Maruf wa Nahy anil Munkar. If we perform that Amar bil Maruf, enjoining good and prohibiting evil, then these leaders will not become leaders of the community, right? So it is very important to maintain that. You know, that's why Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he clearly says that لِطَلَبِ إِصْلَاحِ فِي أُمَّةِ جَدِّي وَأَمَرْ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَنَهْيِ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. That's my purpose. That's why I'm doing this qiyam. That's the purpose. Because though the people who have become in charge of the Ummah Muslimah at that time have reached to a point that Imam Hussein have to give his blood to do amar bil ma'ruf wa nahy anil munkar, to that level. Finally, this is very interesting where he says, O children of Abdul Muttalib, do not shed the blood of Muslims under the banner the Imam has been assassinated. Do not make this as a reason to fight and kill each other. Because some of them at that time have taken the reason that the third Khalifa is killed by Ali. And they fought with Ali. And also Imam Hussein as well, they fought. So Imam is warning, do not do that. That, the Imam have been killed, O children of Abdul Muttalib. And then if I die of this stab of his, Ibn Muljim, kill him with one similar stroke and do not mutilate him. I have heard the Rasul, peace be upon him, he says that do not mutilate, not even a rabies dog. No, not even a dog body should be respected. Do not mutilate that. But unfortunately, sometimes we see those who have the slogans of Islam and jihad and whatnot, what terror acts they commit and call themselves as Muslims. The followers of Ali, what Ali is saying is that no, have that respect. Right? And this is the last line of his, and it is tonight where he says the time have come near, because they saw the feet of Amirul Mu'mineen, the feet also have turned yellow. It started from the head, and then the poison started to move in his body. And then Muhammad ibn Hanafiya says to Imam Hassan Mushtaba, brother, have you noticed the feet of Baba? Hassan says, yes, it has turned yellow because of the poison. Then the Ashab, they told Ibn Muljim that Hazrat Amir will get better. Don't you worry. Then he says that I have spent so much 1,000 dinar to buy the sword and 1,000 dinar of poison in which I have dipped the sword. And if one drop of this poison is put in the ocean, the living creatures all the living creatures in the ocean will die. Such a strong poison Ibn Muljim have used, that he has dipped his sword in it, which stuck the head of Amirul Mu'mineen. And it has reached all of his body. And now, on the 20th, the last night of Hazrat Amir, he says, call all of the family members. Because I see that Rasulullah have said that when a mu'min is about to depart, sweat starts to sit on his forehead. It was not easy for Hazrat Amir. And then the red line of Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam is actually sitting and praying. When Sajjad saw Zainab Kubra Salamullah alayha praying in the prison at night, his Salatul Layl, बैठ के नमाज पढ़ रही थी बीबी ज़ैनब. सज्जाद ने कहा, फूफी अम्मा आपको आज तक मैंने नहीं देखा है कि आप बैठ के नमाज पढ़ रही है. तो ज़ैनब कहती है, खाना इतना कम आता है सज्जाद कि मैं बच्चों को दे देती हूँ. और यही ज़ैनब है जब अपने बाबा को देखती है कि बाबा बैठ के नमाज पढ़ रहे हैं, ज़ैनब का कलेजा मल जाता है. ज़ैनब गिरिया करने लगती है, क्योंकि अहले बैत ने मासूमीन अलैहिस्सलाम ने कभी बैठ के नमाज नहीं पढ़ी है. और जब इस तरह से देखा तो ज़ैनब परेशान हो गई. और फिर वो वक्त आ गया कि हज़रत अमीर अपने बच्चों को करीब बुलाते हैं और आखिरी वसीयतें करते हैं. आखिरी वसीयतें कर कर इमाम हसन की सिफारिश कर कर इल्म इमामत इमाम हसन को देकर कहते हैं, किस तरह से मेरा जनाजा उठाया जाए, किस तरह से मुझे गुस्ल और कफन और हुनूद दिया जाए. ये सब वसीयतें करते हुए वो वक्त भी आ जाता है जब कलमे शहादतैन पढ़ना शुरू करते हैं. अशहदु अन ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह व अशहदु अन्न मुहम्मदर रसूलुल्लाह कहकर हज़रत अमीर की रूह परवास कर जाती है. ज़ैनब और उम्म कुलसूम अपने आप को बाबा के सीने पे गिरा लेते हैं. وا محمدہ اور گریے کی صدائیں بلند ہوتی ہے خانے امیر المؤمنین سے، اور پھر اس کے بعد غسل کا اور کفن کا اہتمام کیا جاتا ہے اور حنوط کا اہتمام کیا جاتا ہے۔ غسل اور کفن دینے کے بعد اسی طرح سے جس طرح سے جو وصیت تھی حضرت امیر کی، 4 جگہ قبر کھودی جاتی ہے حضرت امیر کی، اور لیکن انہیں وہیں دفنایا جاتا ہے جس طرح سے حضرت امیر نے کہا کہ جب تم مجھے تابوت میں ڈالو گے، پیچھے سے حسن اور حسین اس تابوت کو اٹھائے گے، سامنے سے یہ تابوت خود بخود اٹھے گا۔ دنیا کے کسی کونے میں نہ اس طرح سے تابوت اٹھا ہے، نہ اٹھے گا کہ سامنے جبرائیل اور میکائیل اس تابوت کو اٹھائے ہیں، اور یہ تابوت نکلتا ہے، اور حضرت امیر یہ کہتے ہیں یہ تابوت جہاں رک جائے وہیں پہ تم مجھے دفنانا، اور وہاں پہ تمہیں ایک قبر آلریڈی کھدی ہوئی ملے گی اور تم مجھے اس میں دفنانا۔ نماز حضرت امیر المومنین عجیب و غریب ہے، اور پھر تابوت امیر المومنین عجیب و غریب ہے، کیونکہ 7 تکبیرات حضرت امام حسن مجتبیٰ نے دیے ہیں نماز میت پڑھنے کے لیے، بابا کی نماز میت پڑھنے کے لیے۔ جب یہ سب اہتمام کیا گیا، اس وصیتوں پہ عمل کیا گیا، اور امام حسن اور امام حسین بابا کو دفنا کر لوٹ رہے ہیں، جب لوٹنے لگتے ہیں تو بیابان میں، کیونکہ فجر کا وقت ہے، رات میں دفنایا گیا حضرت امیر کو اسی طرح سے جس طرح سے بی بی کو دفنایا گیا تھا۔ پھر لوٹ رہے ہیں، رات سحر کا وقت ہے، دھیمی دھیمی روشنی آنے لگ رہی ہے، دیکھتے ہیں کہ ایک جزامی، ایک فقیر بیابان میں نابینا بیٹھا ہوا ہے، اور پھر امام حسن مجتبیٰ آگے جا کے پوچھتے ہیں کہ آخر ماجرا کیا ہے یہاں پہ؟ یہ فقیر، یہ نابینا، یہ غریب، یہ مسکین کہتا ہے کہ میرا دوست نہیں آیا جو میرے پاس آیا کرتا تھا، 3 دن ہو گئے ہیں کہ وہ میرے پاس نہیں آیا۔ میں امام جانتے ہیں، پوچھتے ہیں کہ تم نے کیا اس کو دیکھا ہے؟ وہ تو نابینا ہے، کہتا ہے میں نہیں دیکھ پاتا، میں نہیں دیکھ سکتا، میں نے نہیں دیکھا ہے۔ کہ وہ تم سے کیا کہتا تھا؟ کہتا ہے کہ وہ میرا دوست اس دنیا کی جو گرفتاریاں، مشکلات اور پریشانیاں اور جو ظلم اس کے اوپر ڈھائے گئے ہیں وہ مجھ سے کہتا تھا۔ بہت ظلم دیکھا ہے حضرت امیر نے، کیونکہ وہ ایسے ایسے ظلم دیکھے ہیں حضرت امیر نے۔ یہ ہمیں پتہ چلتا ہے کہ جب وہ اپنے فاطمہ الزہرا سلام اللہ علیہا کو دفنا رہے تھے، کہتے تھے اے رسول اس پہ جو ظلم ہوئے ہیں اس سے پوچھنا۔ کیونکہ ایک وقت یہ بھی تھا کہ کچھ لوگ گفتگو کر رہے تھے اور حضرت امیر وہاں سے گزر رہے تھے، اور اس لوگوں نے کہا کہ امیر آئیے ہمارے ساتھ بیٹھیے، ہم گفتگو کر رہے ہیں کہ سب سے زیادہ مظلوم ترین شخص کون ہے، جو سب سے زیادہ غمگین شخص کون ہے؟ بعض یہ کہتا ہے کہ وہ غمگین ہے کہ کسی نے قرض لیا ہے اور کسی کا اس قرض کو طلب کیا جاتا ہے تو وہ دے نہیں پاتا، وہ غمگین شخص ہے۔ کوئی اس طرح سے کہتا ہے، کوئی کہتا ہے غریب الوطن جو ہے وہ جو ہے مظلوم شخص ہے۔ لیکن حضرت امیر ایک دفعہ گریہ کرنے لگتے ہیں، کہتے ہیں کہ مظلوم ترین شخص وہ ہے کہ اس کی بی زوجہ کی اہانت کی جاتی ہے، بے حرمتی کی جاتی ہے، لیکن وہ کچھ کر نہیں پاتا۔ میری زہرا سلام، بہت ظلم ڈھائے ہیں حضرت امیر کے اوپر۔ اسی لیے حضرت امیر یہی کہتے ہیں کہ جب زہرا کو دفناتے ہیں کہتے ہیں کہ میری زندگی اس کے بعد اس طرح کی رات کی تاریکی کی طرح زندگی رہے گی۔ حضرت وہ شخص یہی کہتا ہے کہ یہ شخص میرا دوست آتا تھا، میرے ساتھ گفتگو کیا کرتا تھا، مجھے غذا دیا کرتا تھا، مجھے لہلاتا تھا، میرا لباس آواز کرتا، تبدیل کرتا تھا۔ پھر اس کے بعد وہ پوچھتے ہیں کہ آخر تم کوئی نشانی تو اس کی بتلاؤ، مجھے پتہ نہیں وہ کہاں سے آتا تھا اور کدھر چلا جاتا تھا، لیکن جب تم بیٹا مجھ سے گفتگو کر رہے ہو اس شخص کی گفتگو بالکل اسی طرح سے تھی۔ یہاں پہ حسن مجتبیٰ متوجہ ہوتے ہیں اور کہتے ہیں وہ میرا بابا علی تھا۔ سچی وہ میرا بابا علی امیر المومنین تھے؟ ہاں مجھے پتا نہیں تھا، وہ خلیفہ وقت تھا، لیکن کس طرح سے میرے ساتھ آ کے بیٹھا کرتا تھا۔ وہ کہتے ہیں مجھے ہم اسے ابھی دفنا کے آئے ہیں اسی لیے وہ 3 دن تمہاری خدمت میں نہیں آیا. تو یہ شخص کہتا ہے مجھے اس حضرت امیر کی خبر پہ لے جاؤ, سب سے پہلا زوار ہے. اسی طرح سے جس طرح سے جابر ابن عبداللہ انصاری ہے جو زوار امام حسین ہے, یہ بھی زوار امیر المومنین ہے. وہ شخص جاتا ہے قبر مبارک امیر المومنین پر خود کو گرا دیتا ہے اور ایسا گریا کرتا ہے کہ اس کی جان نکل جاتی ہے. الا لعنۃ اللہ علی قوم الظالمین سیعلم الذین ظلموا ای منقلب ینقلبون.